Hi, Penumbuddies.
How are y'all doing on this fine day?
I have been listening to Final Resting Place on loop all day, so my brain is in a place.
A very sad place. This
Yeah.
episode is so heavy. Like major, like obviously warnings for I'm sure we're gonna end up talking about suicide at some point and all the things that Juno and Peter go through. So
Yeah, so this is a heavy episode. Like you've probably listened to it before. We're gonna go into depth on what exactly makes it sad and why it is sad. So if that's not what you want to dwell in, feel free to click away. Which is
but where do
honestly
we
what the conductor is saying at the beginning of the episode.
That is the exact same energy. I laughed like I had been long enough that I'd forgotten that the concierge just asked, like, "Are you sure you want to go through this door?" And there's this pause, and then he just kind of sighs. Just like, fine.
Yeah. Amazing. Wow.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Yeah, Juno's not having a great time at any point in this episode. And I miss the concierge slash conductor
Yeah,
because
why are they
why aren't they here?
gone?
Why are they gone? Why?
Is it not classy enough, Penumbra? Is that what it is?
Is Kevin just tired? Is that what
That's
is that what's
probably
happening? Yeah, that is
Maybe
probably.
they just realized, wait, why do we have this guy opening only two doors ever? Like one to Second Citadel and one
The
to Juno.
implication is that there are more doors. They just don't open them all.
Yeah, like it's for future reference, Like they can go to a new door later.
Right?
Oh,
All right, so now that we're past the conductor or concierge,
yeah.
he's
My
concierge.
complaints about the lack of the concierge, yes.
Yep, love him. He's great. Um, yeah, Miasma's terrifying.
Oh my fucking God. She's horrifying.
Like, I'm so scared. I don't know.
Jesus. Like the really freaky thing for me, I mean, amongst everything about her just vanishing and like the horror of her sort of like having more of a physical presence than she shows, like with the weight on Nureyev that he can't get up because she's so
Yeah.
much heavier than she seems. Like, oh my God. And also the fact that she can read Juno's thoughts has such a meta horror to it because it's like she's reading the script. Like on
Oh,
she
I
can
hadn't thought of that.
It's so freaky. It's like she knows the
Oh.
story because that's oh my God. Like she's
Oh.
got the narrator. Like it's horrifying. It's like I'm not safe anymore. There was distance and now there's no distance. I'm uncomfortable.
Oh, damn. Okay. I had not thought of that as like a meta thing, but it totally, totally is.
Oh God.
Oh.
Like imagine if a bad guy just straight up started like reciting the third person narration of, or like I guess first person, whichever. But oh my God. That's fucked up.
It really is. It's a lot. Um, Miasma's disinterest has always scared me.
Yeah.
Like the fact that she does not care if anyone lives or dies except for her.
Oh boy.
Um, Also, it really I've always been like, okay, I don't understand what's Miasma's deal? What are her powers? Like, is she a full Martian? How did she do that? I don't understand. I think it's starting to get through to me though that we don't understand that because Juno doesn't understand that.
Hmm.
But
Yeah, and maybe we don't need to know.
still, how does she make herself enough of a Martian? What the fuck?
Yeah, what's up with that? Yeah. There must have been, I guess, a lot of research there that we only
A
got
lot of
glimpses of. That and a lot of soup. That's how you become a Martian, is you just eat soup every day.
yeah.
Yeah.
Kate Jones is good at what she does.
Yeah, I had no idea that was Rita until like much later. And I was like, wait, that sounds familiar somehow.
In the live show, it was interesting because she was only there in voiceover, but they had her
Whoa.
get up on a box with like a veil and a big like the cracked mouth, so only
Whoa.
her mouth was showing. It was real creepy. She did
Hi,
great.
that's horrifying.
Uh-huh.
Oh my God.
Kate Jones, she can do it all.
Wow. It really does. It's like, oh yeah, this was originally a horror podcast. Forgot about that.
Right?
Why are these guys so good at horror? Oh.
Well, it was supposed to be an anthology, which is kind of wild now.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Things change, don't they?
they do. Oh, can I? Okay, so Miasma can read people's minds. However, she did not notice when Peter snuck in as her assistant.
Oh, that might just be a plot hole.
I mean, or it could be like Miasma just not caring what her assistants are thinking.
Oh, well, that's in line with what you just said about her not really caring. Like, she does strike me as someone who would underestimate these guys. I think she
Yeah,
does. So, yeah, why not? Why would she be actively reading everybody's minds at that moment? Like, would she have a reason to? Like, she's just kind of preoccupied with other things right now. So,
but still, like that's a gamble. Like Nureyev must have thought of that, you know?
yeah, yeah, you could have died, bud.
What was Nureyev doing in the several days between his escape and him coming back for Juno? How much of him wanted to just keep running?
I wonder. That would be really. Oh God, he says that he knows exactly how long it would take to get off Mars. I know he wouldn't, but that
Ah!
would be really funny if he had, and by funny I mean really sad, if he had tried to leave and then was like, no, I can't, and then came right back.
You made me sad, Rab.
But he wouldn't. I don't.
Oh
He
God.
wouldn't.
Is that the implication of that line?
Where he says, "Give me an hour and was it 35 minutes to get off Mars
37, I think.
first?" Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I always assumed that that was just kind of like a funny moment about Peter always having an escape plan.
Yeah. But man, someone should write the angst fic where he gets on a shuttle and then is like, holy fuck, I can't do this, and
Yeah,
and goes back.
I have to go back. Yeah, it's been an hour and 20 minutes, an hour and 30 minutes, an hour and 37 minutes. Can't take it anymore going. Right at
Yeah.
this time. Oh, yeah, maybe
He's like
he.
in space TSA and just does an about face.
Oh my God. Oh,
Again,
space
someone write this.
TSA,
Come on. Chop chop.
please. We're begging you here.
Yeah, they've been through a lot in this underground. Like Juno sounds so defeated.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I feel like it's
Can
definitely like
I?
the most flat affect that we've heard from him yet.
And then, like, I think the contrast was really apparent when he's like looking around and he doesn't see Nureyev for a second. And there's
Yeah.
like Nureyev and there's something, and then suddenly the fear in his voice is
Oh my
so
god.
so raw. It's like, oh
Oh,
my God.
it makes me think of him yelling, Ben,
No!
Ben, in Monster's Reflection. I'm sorry. I had to say it.
That's, oh God. Oh no. God.
Yeah. So, okay. I think that okay, so we've gotten to the point where um they shoot Miasma the first time, and I think it's cool how they're both like they both kind of adopt this kind of we are determined, we are going to do this good thing. It's going to happen and then we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Like they can't just escape. Um And then I think it's really neat that they've got like I think we get another idea of how well they work together.
Yeah, absolutely. Doesn't Juno even call that out and say we work well together?
Yeah, something like we make a good team or something.
Yeah, because I mean, up until that point, they'd been working well together, but they weren't really functioning as a team because there wasn't like the trust didn't really go both ways until they kind of entered the tomb. So
Yeah.
this is kind of the first time that they've really had a chance to shine, I think.
It's the first time they've been on anything like equal footing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe a
So
little
sad.
bit. No, yeah, it is. It is. Because I was going to say a little bit in Murderous Mask, but, that wasn't even Peter.
Yeah. So like this is talk about masks. This is like
Hey.
all defenses down. We know where we know where we stand. Let's get this done. It's
Yeah,
pretty nice. I'm pretty sad. And by
it
pretty
is. It's
sad, I mean
very
very
sad.
sad.
Because they have never talked about Brahma and what Juno saw in Peter's head.
Does Peter even know what? Because he said like whatever you saw in there. Like does he even know?
Ah! Yes, these are the things that keep me up at night. Like, I feel like we've all just kind of assumed that Peter knew what Juno saw, but I don't know that that's true.
Yeah, we sure as heck don't. Oh
I feel like
boy.
if he knew, he would never have chosen the name Peter Ransom to use around Juno.
Yeah, that's
Ever.
a great point. Oh God. I don't I guess we're back to this question of why the hell he chose that name and I don't know, he could have been just being really emotional about it, but
He's a dramatic twink. Next question.
yeah. Can I bring up the I think Skype cut out, but can I bring up the whole thing with Peter saying like I told you me first?
Ah! Yeah, yes, we can.
Like
Um, I
yeah,
think that's a
'cause
reference to an off screen moment.
that was what I thought. Like I was like, am I missing something? But like I always assumed it was off screen, but also he says, I'm looking through my notes, he says to Miasma, let's continue our conversation. And then he says, which really got me in the middle of our conversation, which was like, wait, if they had a conversation before, then it would this really be the middle that Miasma had dropped out of? Or are we seeing a scenario where Miasma is talking to Juno and simultaneously talking to Peter inside his head?
Oh, shit.
Like, are
I
they
don't
having
know.
some kind of talk and that's why Peter's like, hey, we were in the middle of a conversation? Or is he being like, let's pick up on that conversation we had a couple days ago when I was still like, I don't know what that was.
I don't know, but either way, I really like that line because who is really, really protective of Juno? Like, Juno's protective to a lot of people, but like, kind of life on the line, like me first kind of stuff, like, that's pretty new for Juno.
Oh, yeah, he's got very few people. He's got like Rita, maybe Mick. I don't know about whether well Mick does do things like that. He's like, you go ahead, I'll stay back. I'm only slowing you down, stuff like that.
But
But yeah,
with Mick, it seems a little bit more like, okay, we're not going to pay attention to that.
yeah. Yeah. Oh, but also it's a heartbreaking line, like the way that Noah Symes does that line, like the weight behind the words, like me first. Oh my God.
Yeah, self-sacrificing assholes,
Yeah,
the
Jesus,
both
both
of
of them.
them.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Get a hold of
Ooh, can
yourselves.
we talk the line? I'm typically the one disappearing, not the
Oh,
one left
fuck
behind.
me. Just,
Ah,
oh my God, just throw me into the Grand Canyon. I'm beside myself. It's the worst line. It's the worst
once we
one.
get through the whole, once we get through like the events of the story, I think we got to talk about what parallels in season 3 are gonna look like.
Oh my God. Yes, please. I am all for that angsty speculation.
Oof. Oof. Um. Yeah. How Martian is Juno by the middle of this episode? Like how much could he be considered a Martian? Like how much does he understand about them? Like can other people communicate with Miasma like he does?
That's a great question. I hadn't assumed that maybe his communication with Miasma was predicated on his having. Well, wait, no, I think after the pill burst, I think she was still. Was she still talking to him? Huh.
Not in his head, I don't think.
Oh, well, there you go. Then that answers my question that there's no way for Miasma to have been talking to Peter, so that must have been either a conversation off screen or I'm just missing something.
Ooh, other note. I think that Miasma is the only other person in the present to say Peter Nureyev than
Oh,
Juno.
shit. Whew. Well, that's probably not new. Like, once, like, at the moment, like, when I first listened to this, I wouldn't have known, but, like, looking back, it's like, oh, Peter's probably pretty used to people using his name in that context, like, in a way that's kind of used, like, by a person that's cruel or
Mm-hmm.
said in a cruel way versus
Yeah.
the way Juno uses his name. So, which sometimes, I mean, it's different, but I mean, the context I think has shifted over time. So,
Yeah. I don't know, man. The whole Peter and names is it is chef's kiss.
it is beautiful and I love it so much. And there's something I think inherently queer about that narrative of, I don't know, naming yourself and having, I don't know. But I don't know. There's
Peter
I
Nureyev
want
trans. Peter
please
Nureyev trans.
Peter is trans. We all know that Peter's trans. It's just the law.
A man who's trans cisgender.
Yes. What was but you saying, I know I'm bouncing around here, but you saying how Martian is Juno made me realize, oh, it's probably a good thing, like as good as it can be, that Juno lost that his eye by basically destroying the pill by using it too much,
Yeah.
because that was Martian matter, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that could have done some damage if that was still active, maybe,
This
when the
show.
bomb went
Why
off.
are all podcasts so eye focused?
I don't
That I
know.
don't understand.
What
For
is
an
why?
audio only medium, I do not understand.
It's so interesting. Like the only thing that divides them is like the the colors.
Yeah.
Like, is it a
Yeah.
purple eye? It's Night Vale. Is it a green eye? It's Magnus. Is it? I guess it's a red eye for Penumbra.
Yes, so. I don't know. Um, the sound effects are gross as hell. But I think this is also an interesting look at Juno pushing through pain. Because we've heard him do it before, but never quite to this extent. And I don't know, something about it felt really different to me in this episode. He's just like a little bit more, a little bit more. I don't know. Maybe it's just Joshua's voice acting, but it really got through to me this time. Are we at the point where we need to start talking about I don't know, the egg, the explosion?
Oh God, there's yeah.
Oh,
Let's go
okay.
for it. If you
Okay.
want.
No, we gotta.
We got it.
Um, Juno, Juno's moral clarity, I think, really snaps back into focus as soon as he decides that he's going to set off the bomb with him in the room.
Yeah.
And I think that's important that things make sense to him again once he's being self-sacrificial.
Oh.
And his life, it's a good death. It becomes, a fitting end to his story, at least as he's decided.
That makes a ton of sense. Yeah, the way you phrased that, he's really framing it the way he always has. That makes a lot of sense.
The story box.
Yep, there's the story box. Oh boy. Am I gonna have to make a sound effect for the story box too?
No, I kind of like want to make a story box, but I don't know how I could visualize this. I
Yeah,
don't know.
yeah.
Um,
But God, so that's so fucked. That's so
yeah,
fucked.
yeah, and ooh, something I thought was actually pretty hopeful in the end was he has this line that's like, just a little bit farther, a little more, and then I can rest,
Yeah.
which of course is heartbreaking in the episode. But I think it's really cleverly paralleled at the end of Monster's Reflection when he's like, I don't have to be good or be bad, I can just rest. And he goes the fuck
Whoa!
back to sleep.
Holy shit! That is so cool. Oh my God.
He closes the story box,
I love it. Oh, that's wonderful. I'm so proud of him.
right?
Oh my God, Luna, thank you for pointing that out. I am so emotional.
That nap at the end of Monster's Reflection means so much to me. Where he just like gives himself a minute for the first time in the series.
You know, he just really needed a nap. That's that's beautiful. I love that.
Is
Oh my
he hung out
God.
with his dead brother. It was tiring. He figured out some stuff about his abuser being Space Walt Disney, and then he goes to bed.
And now is the time to go the fuck to sleep.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, I mean, very literally, he would sleep when he was dead. And so at the end of Monster's Reflection, he has time. He's gonna calm the fuck down. I love that.
yeah, me too. That makes me happy. Um,
Yeah.
I really want to talk about how much I love Juno's kind of reluctant understanding of the Martians.
Oh, that is so heartbreaking. Oh my God.
Because I don't know. I don't know if it's subconscious patterns or what, but I often find myself picking up on things, especially about people's mental health that, they haven't told me, but I'm like, this is a vibe,
Yes,
like,
absolutely.
got those trauma vibes. Um, yeah, so, and I know it's like different because, they're dead Martians, but I think it's very cool to have him take his really impressive people skills and apply them to this ancient society.
Oh, Juno. I totally agree about there's this aura, man. I don't know. There's like I'm good at it with anxiety, I think. Like I can usually tell talking to people like when they struggle with anxiety, like
Mm.
there's this vibe. Yeah.
I can point
But
out childhood trauma from across the room.
yeah, you can feel it.
They're just like, yep, you hold yourself that way.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't know if I'm able, I don't think I can do that, but I can with the anxiety. There's an energy level, I
Yeah.
think. Yeah, but the fact that Juno sort of, I think he knew before he knew,
Yeah.
even before he even realized that there was a vibe. I think he was uncomfortable enough talking or thinking about the Martians that there was something there that he recognized maybe in himself. It's just
Yeah.
quite
And I
sad.
don't know how much of that is the capsule, but
Yeah,
I think a
yeah.
lot of it is just him understanding what they were feeling and what it was like.
Yeah, the most heartbreaking, well, I mean, all of this is heartbreaking. I'm gonna keep using that word because that's how I feel. But the
All
quote,
your truth.
they thought it through and they put the pieces together, and at the end of the day, they figured Mars was better off without them. Like that's that's a lot. That's a lot in the context of Juno, and it's especially a lot when Nerea responds to that with, "Well, none of that matters now." Like, oh,
Yeah.
honey. Yeah, oh
Nerev is
boy.
teaching a master class in how not to respond to this shit.
Yeah, oh my God. Like, Nerea, I love you. I really appreciate at the end that he's like, I don't want this if you don't want this, but then he follows it up, however unintentionally, with like that ultimatum, and he's just not, he's just, oh God, Peter, Juno is in a terrible place right now. He can't leave Mars.
Yeah. Yes. I'm very angry at Peter after this episode, honestly. Um,
Vent, I dare you.
okay. All right. Well, I don't wanna skip over the Juno's mental state because I also want to talk about some of the language he uses. But I
Ooh,
promise I will rant
yes.
about Peter in a minute.
Okay, go for it.
He so both of them are kind of emotionally constipated. Um, and but as soon as the door closes, Juno feels like he can be intimate and express his feelings and like say the things he wants to say. And that's sad.
Yeah.
But also he speaks in a lot of cliches,
Oh.
doesn't he? Like didn't you notice that? He was like, I don't know, it's a speech. It almost feels rehearsed.
Yeah, you're the best thing that's ever happened to me. We've heard that before. The like bouncing from star to star, like that's not it's yeah.
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 You think
Oh.
he actually wanted to leave with Nureyev at that moment?
Yeah. I think he did, and that I don't think he was really thinking too hard about what that would mean because he didn't expect to have to deal with it. So it's just
Yeah.
kind of like, you kind of maybe at your worst point, you wish that things were different. But if you were given the choice to actually change things, then it's still kind of a gamble because once again, you are plonked into a world where, oh no, all these factors are back. And
Yeah.
like, I'm not wishfully thinking of some happy ending. I so I
Oh, we'll talk about happy
understand.
endings.
Yeah, that
Uh,
end that end monologue about happy endings, man, fucked me up.
yeah, yeah.
I don't
Um,
know. What do you think? Do you think he meant it?
no,
Yeah?
I don't think it matters. Like, I don't think that he should have been held to anything he said at that moment. But I think he was saying the thing he thought would make Peter the happiest
Oh,
in that moment.
I have never thought of it like that, and that is so sad.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I don't know. Like, wouldn't you want? I don't know. Wouldn't you want the if you were in that situation? I think I would want the person on the other side of the door to like have the best possible like I don't know. Never mind. I don't know if that makes any sense, but
No, that makes
I,
sense to me too. Is like Juno, he's so self-sacrificial. Of course, he would want to, yeah, leave Peter believing that he wanted the same thing. I think either interpretation,
I think
God,
both can be true. Honestly, like
yeah, yeah. You're so in that moment, so
mhm.
much going on.
I just the second half of the episode after the bomb goes off is just a master class in two people talking past each other and
Oh.
not listening to each other. And I don't think it's Juno's fault.
I don't think it's like I don't know. I think Juno could have communicated better, but I also think Peter could have communicated better. So,
Yeah, yeah. But I do think that like Juno is clearly in shock,
oh,
like clinical shock,
yeah.
and just saying it doesn't matter and kissing him is a little garbage.
Yeah, that's really frustrating that he's like, I don't understand. And then Juno spells it out for him, and he's like, well, it's all right because we can be happy now. And it's like, no, you can't.
Like knowing more about Peter, I know he's like well, everyone compartmentalizes like me, so why don't I help you compartmentalize?
Yeah, of course, sir. Why don't I help you run away from your problems?
Yeah, it works for me.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, so
makes sense.
I do have a lot of issues with how Peter acts in the second half of this episode. And, I was around in the great season 1, season 2 hiatus, and we all really thought that Peter was gonna apologize first.
I've read a lot of fics like that while like waiting for Peter to come back. I jumped aboard. I don't know what episode that was. It was summer of 2018, but there were a lot of fics where there was even a fic that I really loved where Juno didn't even apologize. Like he showed up, he saw Peter. I don't think they even meant to meet up, and like he was trying to get the words out to apologize, but then Nureyev just crossed over to him and hugged him and was like, "I am so sorry. You don't need to say anything." And like it was a really beautiful fic, and like it's kind of weird. I last Penumbuddies, you mentioned that there's a there's a great chance that we'll probably go back to that apology, and like
Yeah.
yeah, so that would be great if we like zoomed back and we had Peter mentioning something there.
Yeah. Yeah, because the way Peter is acting here is not okay. Like, but I mean, it makes sense with Peter's characterization. I just think that a lot of I feel like we get really hung up on Juno, you asshole, and
Yeah.
a little less on Peter, what the fuck.
Yeah. 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 It's also
Yeah.
pretty sad that Juno would be making that decision at a really, really bad time, like to leave. Like
Oh yeah.
mentally, like he's not, like you said, he's in shock. He's basically just had a suicide attempt. He's just in a terrible mental place. And then if he ever has a moment where he's like, maybe I shouldn't have done that, he doesn't have a way to contact. Like it's just, and as far as he knows, Nureyev has done that ultimatum and fucked off to some random planet. So there's no way for him to. Oh God.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. So they leave. They get the ruby. Do they get the ruby? I think they get the ruby. Um. I don't know actually. We'll
They've
see.
they've gotta get the ruby, right? Because they gotta get out of the
Yeah.
desert.
Yeah. I don't know. Um. But they go back to Hyperion, which Juno insists on instead of going to Olympus Mons, which is right there. Um. How long is Juno in the hospital? Like, it seems like it was a pretty serious injury. Like, the doctors couldn't save your eye.
Yeah, like that implies that they tried.
Yeah.
God, I need to research like what types of eye surgery, how long I don't think they with a wound like that.
Hmm.
I'm speaking out of my ass, but I think they would want to clear away the tissue as
Mm-hmm.
quickly as possible. Like they'd want to assess the damage. If they thought they couldn't save the eye, they'd want to move really fast to prevent infection or some kind of complication.
Yeah.
So maybe not for more than I don't know, maybe a couple weeks. I don't know, at the
No, I
most.
might guess it's a couple days.
Yeah.
Um, but still, like, I don't think it was an outpatient visit. So Juno is clearly still in this kind of not totally responsive state.
Yeah.
Um, even a few days to a few weeks later.
Yeah. That's pretty fucked. And like I kind of wondered to myself, did he really ask to go to Hyperion because he was, I don't know, considering leaving, or because it was a more comfortable place for him to be, or because he already knew that he wasn't going to leave and he didn't want to have to like steal a car to get home?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I feel like it could be any of those, or some combination is also
Yeah,
very
just kind of
possible.
this nebulous feeling of I need to be in Hyperion right now. I have just experienced an intense trauma and I need to be home.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely get that. So that's not great.
No.
No. Yeah. Did Peter offer to go into more debt to get Juno a cybernetic?
Yes, he
I
did.
think he did, and that's cute.
That is very sweet of him. Like he does try. I really do appreciate that line where he's like, I don't want to go if you don't want to go. Like he's there are moments in there where I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, you're so close, bud. Just
There's no reason to have an ultimatum.
no,
No
why?
reason.
Like narratively, I'm wondering if they put that there to like be the nail in the coffin for Juno, like to need to
Hmm.
leave, or what the plan was there. Like, why did they have Nereev say that? Did he really think that Juno wouldn't want him there?
I have no idea. I mean, I think that it is important that they didn't go off together because I know they talked really specifically about not wanting to perpetuate the stereotype of like main character falls in love and their mental health is perfect now.
Which I really appreciate.
Yeah, yeah, like Juno needed another season to get his shit together.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so that's wild. Um, I don't know, man. Like, I think Peter operates in a very all or nothing sort of way, and I think is a lot more emotionally insecure and immature than we thought.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Who
yeah, it
was
was
it in
completely not appropriate.
there was someone in the last comment section, I'll shout them out in the description, who mentioned that, or maybe you mentioned this too, that Peter's like perception of intimacy is very skewed. Like,
Yeah,
yeah, he hasn't had a lot of practice with anybody.
not that we know of.
So,
Although it is implied in Man
yeah,
in Glass that there was someone before Juno. We just don't know.
yes. And I absolutely am more and more every day buying into the concept that you suggested this from day one. You were like, I bet there's a lover, and like Peter had to pay for their medical bills. But like every day I'm like, it's real.
It is, or the lover betrayed him.
Shout out to Maveri who's writing that very thing right now and killing me.
Hey,
But let me look through other things here.
um, does Juno have a complex about saying he's in love?
Oh, that's so sad. What do you mean?
Well, like Peter's like, I'm falling in love with you, and Juno's kind of does the equivalent of same, buddy. Like
Yeah, yeah, same. Yeah.
same hat.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
yeah. So I wonder if that's like a conscious thing, or if Juno's just like antsy about saying I love you.
Oh, it's definitely a personal headcanon of mine that he just can't say it.
Yeah.
If only, I mean, whether because everybody he's
Well, he
said
says
it
it to
to.
Ben.
Yeah. Oh, he does?
Yeah.
Oh, that's really important then. So like he can do it. He just doesn't, I don't know, does he not want to jinx it and with a, I don't know. Did he know that Ben he was saying goodbye when he said that he loved Ben, right?
I think so.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember when, because like because at first like Juno had this moment where he kind of forgot, right? Where he was like it's been a while and he was like, "Oh my God, Ben's really here." Like
No,
so
I
like
think it was at the end.
yeah, because if it's at the end, then I think at that point he knew that Ben was gone.
Hmm.
But maybe it would be different saying it to someone like Nureyev who wasn't gone yet and he didn't want to, admit that he had that attachment or somehow
Yeah.
I don't know, sometimes I get worried that I'll say something and it'll like doom me. Like it's a silly and
Right.
yeah, but it's like there's
Yeah.
certain things. It's like if I say this then so like I don't know, I could see that especially if I'm, diamond things, life, love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's very possible that the last person he said I love you to was Ben.
Oh God. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Yeah. What do you think? Can he like do you think Juno can, won't, should, shouldn't?
I think that displays of emotion scare the shit out of him.
Yeah, that's
Uh, and he has some idea of how uncomfortable he is if he doesn't know he's going to leave yet. There's something in his brain percolating at that point, and like he would not be able to say it then because leaving is already somewhere in his mind.
that makes a ton of sense.
Uh, yeah. So in Man in Glass, we learn that Peter was awake when Juno left.
Yes, which killed me.
Peter, Peter, Peter could have stopped him. Peter could have
Yes.
said, "Hi, Juno. Why are you leaving? Is everything okay?"
Oh my God. I that like I guess it wasn't the right move. Would it have been? Would they have called each other out, or would they have just stewed in these insecurity? Like, I don't know. Like, it makes sense that he would. It's another scenario where it's like it's in character, but it's still a shit move.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, like, yeah, okay, Juno wants to leave, so he's got to let him leave, I guess, because that's what Juno wants. TM. But yeah, that would have been amazing in some parallel universe if they had been able to talk and Juno had said, I can't leave. And I don't want to lose you, but I know that even if we stayed together that I would. So we need to end this and
Peter
have
would be
a
like, "What?"
yeah, what are you talking about? This doesn't have to or maybe things
And
just would aspire.
all right, and this is where I'm going to rant about season 3. May I?
Please do.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So the idea with season 3 is that we've been showing Juno's growth and Peter's lack thereof.
Yeah, which
Yes?
is
Yeah.
really fun. Unless
Which is
they
really
like
fun.
pull the rug out from under us and are like, he knew the whole time.
Which they might. But Peter tries to leave, and Juno says, "Wait, what the fuck?"
Please.
Like, no, you're not slipping out on me. I did that, and it was bad. Like, we're gonna sit down and talk about our feelings, Nureyev. Feelings.
No. My what? Oh, I would love that. Come on, have him wake up, call Peter back, say you don't have to do this alone. Please, please
Yes.
do. Yes.
They're gonna be on separate sides of a door.
Let me in, Peter.
Uh,
Let me in.
like, so my prediction is that there will be a final resting place mirror, but I don't
Yes.
think the result is going to be the same because I don't think Juno would, if the roles were reversed in season 3, I don't think Juno would let Peter walk out without saying anything.
Agree. I am strongly agreeing with that. Because of course, old Juno would probably be like, all self-sabotagey and like, well, if Peter wants to leave, then that's probably for the best because I'm a horrible person. Da, 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 and I'll only hurt him and I don't deserve whatever. But now they've been working on it, so
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
They're
I
reading
love
poetry to each other.
Yummy poetry.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of poetry, this is you have to go back to your season 3 predictions, but I just gotta can I do a quick
No, please, please.
a quick poetry commercial break? There's this has nothing to do with anything, but the opening where the concierge was like, there is still time, of course, time to turn back, time to allow Detective Steele to forever remain as we remember him. And immediately my hell brain went to the the love song of J. Alfred Prufrock.
Oh.
Did you say it? Like it's I don't know, there will be what there will be time to murder and create, and time for all the works and days of hands that lift and drop a question on your plate. Time for you and time for me, and time yet for 100 indecisions and for 100 visions and revisions. It's like, I don't know. I was happy. I was delightedly reminded of poetry, albeit from an author who's not a great person, but
Yeah. I
I
have
had to
heard the
share.
mermaids singing each to each. I do not think they will sing to me.
Yes! Oh, yes! It's my favorite poem.
It's a good poem.
Oh God.
I had most of
Yeah.
it memorized at some point, but that's a really good point. And Kevin is an English teacher, so I think that is probably what's happening.
No. Oh, you're back. Are
I'm
you
here, I'm here,
are
I'm
you
here.
there?
But my
Okay.
point
You
is,
were
Kevin is
saying,
an
and
English teacher.
Kevin,
So,
did you know, Kevin?
I'm
Did
sure
you
he
know? I
I'm
don't
sure
know.
he
I bet
did.
I would be so happy because I mean, it's so great. It's like the story of this. I mean, Proof Rock I've always pictured as a really whiny guy, but I mean, there's something there about wandering the city alone and yearning and looking up at the at the women and the people who are with partners and happy and thinking I will never have that. I'm not strong enough to make the choice. There will be time for me to do that. I won't do it now. I don't think anyone will love me, but whatever. Like that kind of vibe.
Aw.
Oh.
You
But
want to talk about the
anyway,
final monologue then?
yeah, but like beforehand, was there anything else that you wanted to say about potential season 3 parallels?
I don't think so. It's just gonna happen because that's good narrative.
I can feel it. I can feel it I don't know, my body somewhere.
Bodies? Wild. Um,
Okay, but yeah, the final monologue. Oh boy, speaking of wandering the city at night.
ooh, so good. It's so good. It's so well written.
Oh.
I just, for me, it really evokes this idea of like, is happiness you think or you know is going to be temporary worth it?
Oh.
Like, if you think that nothing happy will ever last, is it worth seeking out happiness at all?
That's a hard question.
Yeah. Yeah, it really is. Like
God.
that's very much like where Juno is. Like he thinks that he will drive Nureyev away no matter what. So
Why
should he just
bother?
should he just do the leaving first?
Oh. Yeah, and the idea of happiness as a destructive force, I
Mm-hmm.
think, is pretty horrifying, honestly. Like, that's it's pretty fucked. All these people chasing after all these promises, running full tilt towards 1,000 paradises that never were and never are going to be.
It's never
God,
going to be steel no matter how much you want it.
it makes a big mess. Oh. Like that says it all about Juno right then, doesn't it?
It
That
does.
he's viewing like happiness and a happy ending as like something that hurts people and
And it's
just makes
selfish.
everything worse. Yeah. Oh my
I
God.
mean, he is back in his story box.
Yeah. God.
Uh, yeah. I listened to the commentary track for
Ooh.
Final Resting Place, which is Noah, Joshua, and Kate, and they all just start with a, "All right, now, everyone together." Uh,
That's the most applicable noise I've ever heard.
yeah, yeah. I mean,
What else
it's
did they
sad.
say? Yeah,
I
it's
think
so
they
sad.
mostly just talked about. It's been a couple days since I've listened, or a couple weeks since I've listened to it, but um, they talked a lot about like the fact that it's probably good that Juno was that Peter did not solve Juno's mental health problems.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and that, sometimes you make shitty decisions.
Yeah, absolutely. When we get to the Buddy and Vespa extravaganza, then I'm sure there will be more talk about that. But, oh, God.
Yeah, so like, I don't know. I think the monologue at the end of the season is just so much a manifesto of Juno's depression. But it's also such a manifesto of like feeling part of something, and that being part of a whole is worth more than being individually happy.
Oh, that's super fun because that plays really well into the Thea soul.
Yeah, because like there is definitely well, Juno wants to like serve his city or whatever and do
Yeah.
good things for the city that he sees as like an entity. Um, and like I think a lot of the story is kind of both becoming more individual and more community focused because he becomes like he's so insular as a character and he's dedicated to like this ideal of a city. But
Yeah.
over season 2, I think he becomes more comfortable with the idea of, a city is going to chew me up and spit me out. A community is going to be there for me in return.
Oh, oh my God. That's a beautiful quote. And that's so true.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh, I love that.
And they're
I'm
not
just
the
gonna
same
sit with that
thing.
for a second.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's so wonderful.
So he's
And there's
learning to
also,
care more
yeah.
about his individual self while also learning to rely on other people
Mm,
rather than just giving and giving and giving.
yeah. Because it's important for him not to completely turn it about face and just be like all about me, me, me.
Because
Like,
he is kind of all
like,
about me, me, me.
yeah, he's not really, I guess it wouldn't be an about face. It would just be like,
He
because there is a
he
selfishness
contains
to being
multiplication
selfless.
tables.
Yeah. It's just shuffling the traits around in a bag. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, you just
oh.
gotta roll the dice a different way. But I think it all
Oh,
kind of boils down to like desire versus duty in this
yeah.
monologue. Like
Duty
what
is just so important. Yeah.
yeah. Like what do you think you have to do and what do you want to do? And why aren't those matching up?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because a city is never gonna be there for you back. People will
Yeah.
be, but this grand ideal of justice is not.
No, and the thing about it, as they explore in depth, is that there is no way to determine what even is that grand justice that he's trying to protect. Like, it's a slippery slope. Like, he's trying to
Yeah.
define these giant things to protect them, and like, what is he even protecting at the end of the day? So,
Yeah, and when structural things are changed with Ramses, that's also not good. Like, I don't know,
yeah.
there's no winning with trying to put yourself on the line to improve a city or an ideal, but you can make changes in your communities.
Yeah, by working with them rather than for
Working
them.
interpersonally, you know?
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
There's a difference there. Yeah, and he definitely has not grasped that yet.
No, no. No, no.
Oh.
Um yeah, so those are all of my notes.
I just want to mention because we've talked a little about um the fact that, they didn't want to have them fly off together because that would insinuate that, Peter had saved Juno or healed him somehow. And like that is just like I wrote a letter to Kabert like I think a year ago, and I was lucky enough that I had Prince, I forget the full part of their name, deliver it at a live show, and that was one of the things that I just thanked them for it profusely, that they make it a real condition in this show that the characters are not allowed to like reunite with each other until they're working to get better. And it's like,
Yeah.
it's just, yeah, it's special to me. It's really different, and it's not like love is forbidden in this situation. It's definitely, it's got boundaries. It's positioned as a helping hand instead of, this perfect magic wand that saves everything. And so,
Yeah.
yeah, this episode was messy, but it did open the doors to that narrative, and that makes me really happy.
It did. It did. And like the idea that not being ready is okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
you still should have
it
talked to
happened
Peter,
really.
but
Yeah, there should have been communication there, but like, yeah, the mistake itself. It's like it really reminds me of the Vixen Valley case where um it was like the Ingrid Lake scenario where it's like I don't regret what I did. I would, or like, or did she what was that line? I can't
just like didn't
remember.
regret loving her or like didn't regret the years that they'd had together, but was not in that place anymore.
Yeah, and also didn't regret turning her in. Like,
Mm-hmm.
was like, so I don't know.
Yeah.
There's something there. There was a mistake that was made, but I don't think Juno should regret it necessarily. It was a really
No.
bad thing to
It
do.
was. It
Yeah,
was. Don't walk out on people in the middle of the night.
don't.
Uh,
Just don't.
don't. But also don't give extremely traumatized people ultimatums.
Yeah, that's a great idea too. If we're gonna, that's the first and second rule of thieving, as per Drab.
Yep. So they both fucked up. I think that's a solid way to think about it. And it's a really tragic ending to it really it comes full circle. Like the season starts in his office and ends in his office with him drinking.
And him saying Hyperion City.
Hmm. Yeah. And I think that's a really interesting like no that's what's happening with the noir drama, like because the changes he makes are not that it's episodic, like he
Yeah,
can't break out of that routine because that would fuck with the genre, like.
that's
But
so cool. That's so cool. Like, I mean, I was thinking when he poured that glass for himself, that is so noir.
oh
Like,
yeah,
you're
that
hearing the
whole
city no
monologue.
through the window. Yeah. Oh my God. So
Oh,
it's,
that
yeah.
reminds me.
Oh my God.
In the commentary track, Joshua was like, "Yeah, we thought it was important to note that when you're watching noir, like these kind of hard-boiled, gruff, like sad detectives are actually suffering from a real mental illness."
Yeah. And they really nail that.
Yeah, they really do.
Yeah, I mean, from the third story, I think we already know that Juno is depressed and struggling with multiple different things, probably.
Hmm. He has complex PTSD. I also have complex PTSD, so he definitely has complex PTSD.
Listen, you're right, though.
I am.
You're right.
It's
I
true.
will stand by you. Yes.
Yeah, man.
Oh,
Yeah. All
God, a
right.
lot going on.
Anything else
Yep.
coming to mind for this episode?
No, it's just a lot, and
It really is.
I'm excited to hear what people think about this episode in the comments because I know it's a loaded episode, and so everybody's going to have a different take of what happened and
Yeah.
what should have happened, and yeah.
But you know what? Next time we get to talk about Tuna Brick.
Oh my God! Listen, I think I've only listened to that episode like once, and I don't know why.
The Tuna
I'm
Brick is absolute.
I'm so excited. Oh, a lighthearted adventure, sort of.
Sort of.
All right. We'll see you next time, Penumbuddies.
All right. Bye bye.
Bye.